Have you ever sat in church and been completely confused by what the speaker was talking about? It's often taken for granted that people in attendance are familiar with common terms used in Christianity. But what if you aren't? That's what these videos are here to help with. In the Bible, there are many references to people doing something called fasting. For example, in Ezra 8:23 it says, "So we fasted and earnestly prayed that our God would take care of us, and He heard our prayer." In Matthew 4:2, "For 40 days and 40 nights He fasted and became very hungry." And then Jesus gave instructions on fasting in Matthew 6:16. "And when you fast, don't make it obvious as the hypocrites do, for they try to look miserable and disheveled so people will admire them for their fasting." So, from the context, you've probably figured out it has something to do with food and not speed. Fasting is simply denying yourself certain or all foods and/or water for a period of time. Breakfast, for instance, is our first meal of the day, and the root words are break and fast. You are breaking the fast of not eating since dinner time. There are several different types of fasting in cultures around the world. Even in Christianity, there are a few different ways of doing it. It was commonly practiced in Judaism as a 24-hour period with no food or water. In more modern times, people doing a similar fast will consume only water during the period of time, and it may be a longer or shorter period, perhaps just from the beginning of the day to dinner time. Often a person fasting will use their hunger as a reminder to pray. Other types of fasting use giving up certain foods, usually enjoyable ones, for a longer period. If you've heard of Lent, it's a period of time between Mardi Gras and Easter where people give up certain foods they enjoy. Giving up broccoli or Brussels sprouts is rarely a good fast. But why fast? Isn't it weird to give up food, something God made you to need? The reasons for fasting vary. It may be to show remorse for something wrong a person did. It may be to emphasize a request being brought to God in prayer. It may be to show reverence for what God has done for a person or all of mankind. It may be simply to show God that you love Him. But by giving up food, the person fasting is saying to God, "You are more important to me than my physical needs." And that says a lot. Fasting should always bring a person closer to God. And now, because this is America, here's a disclaimer. Fasting is not dieting. It is not for your physical benefit and should not be an everyday activity, especially if refraining from all food. For example, in Judaism, fasting was generally done only 6 days out of the entire year. Longer fasts like Lent center around giving up certain foods, not all foods. Further, God has given us plenty of reasons to celebrate, and feasting, the opposite of fasting, is better suited to celebrating. That is to say, there are times to fast and there are times to feast. If you want to know more about this and Christianity in general, and we hope you do, visit a church near you and find out just how much God loves you and what that can mean for your life. If you're in the Santa Cruz area, our church is located at the corner of Seabright and Effie, and we'd love to have you join us.